Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This your boy Isaac.
And this is your boy Bryce.
And we are brothers on tennis. And guess what, y'all? We are in the latter portion of October 2019, and good God, there's a lot of tennis going on, Bryce. I mean, how many tournaments did we have last week? Like 50?
I know. But I tell you what, all of these players are trying to make their final push for the year-end championships.
They're trying to get there.
And it's been exciting to watch.
It has been, man. I mean, just all the different storylines, some folks showing up, some people choking it out. It is all extremely interesting. And you know we're going to see a whole lot more of it as well. I mean, this week, as far as the men go, this week as well as next week will tell a lot of tales as it relates to that 7th and 8th spot.
Right. That Paris Open is going to be huge. The final Masters Series tournament of the year.
Yes.
And if you have somebody unexpected that does well, it can really throw a wrench into things for those last couple of spots.
Absolutely. I mean, talk about it. It's like the Jack Sock syndrome, as I call it. Because remember that year that he made it?
I remember.
He was like, what, number 20 or 17 or something? And he ended up having a good showing the week before Paris and then went into Paris and won and was like, I'm in the top 8.
Right. I was so surprised he won that tournament.
Man, I think he was so... I think Jack was surprised. A whole bunch of folk were surprised. So it's possible, man. There's a lot of folks that could potentially sneak into that 7th and 8th spot. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But hey, that's why these next couple weeks will be pretty fun.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
man. Speaking of some people sneaking in,
right.
We had a couple of tournaments last week on the women's side.
Yes.
And the first one I want to start off with is the Kremlin Cup. And the reason why that tournament was very important is Belinda Bencic ended up winning.
Yes.
And who did we predict was going to win that tournament?
I think we said Bencic.
I think we did.
I mean, most definitely said Bencic.
We're not trying to brag or nothing, but, Anyway, winning that tournament was good because she ended up knocking Serena Williams out of the 8th spot for the final spot in the women's championship, year-end championship.
Absolutely. Well, she did a couple things. So she knocked out Serena, and unfortunately, someone who succumbed to that under pressure would be that Kiki Bertens, because Kiki had a shot. She had a shot to grab that spot, and unfortunately, she got kicked out of there in the quarter by Mladenovic. She was like, ain't nobody scared of you. And she was like, go on, get someplace. So she beat her out, and then Bencic jumped up on Mladenovic and made the final, and like I said, got her a tournament win and got into the Elite 8 for the WTA.
Yeah. And I tell you what, that Elite 8, I know they're trying to make the title all nice and stuff, but knowing that's the consolation tournament for the people that didn't make the year end,
I
right?
know, poor Kiki. So yeah, Kiki got relegated to that tournament, and Belinda is actually in the Big 8, if you will. So good for you, Belinda.
Yeah, congratulations, Belinda.
Yeah, you go ahead and do your thing.
Now, I tell you who said they weren't going to be beat up by no more teenagers this week, and that was Elena Ostapenko.
Listen.
Listeners, if you will remember, last week, the week before last, Ostapenko lost in the finals to Coco Gauff.
Yes, she did.
Well, this week, in the first round, she played Coco's partner, Katie McNally, and she took her out 7-5, 7-6, and said, I'm not going down that road again.
She's like, we are not doing this again. We're not playing that record again, yo. And then proceeded to kind of show out, because she took the top seed out in the second round with Elise Mertens, and then, like I said, ran through the quarters, semis. She didn't blink in the semis against Blinkova.
Right.
Blinkova, you know I love your name, girl. I don't even know who you are, but I love your name. And then she got into the final where she played Julia Gerges.
Right.
And hey, man, Julia Gerges is not someone to to set aside, and she got up in there and was like, apparently you look hungry. So here's some bread for you.
Yeah, beat her 6-4, 6-1.
My
so
goodness,
that
bread
was
stick.
but way to rebound.
That's right.
And
that's how you do it. And the thing that was crazy to me, Bryce, and I don't know if you knew this, but apparently Ostapenko is being trained by what's the French girl name that won won Wimbledon?
Marion Bartoli.
Marion Bartoli. What? Now come on, Bryce. Let's Come on now. Marion Bartoli was a little strong.
She a little special.
She a little special. Her and her papa.
Right.
And then she then came out and joined the coaching ranks, and she coached Ostapenko, who ain't got everything wrapped too tight anyway.
Did you hear apparently Bartoli had a huge crush on Jack Sock?
Shut up. Nope, didn't hear that story.
Oh,
well,
okay.
there you go.
Right.
So, once again, crazy on crazy. So, Yelena, congratulations, Yelena, on getting that title. And, hopefully you'll round it out and show out next year.
Right. So, at that same tournament, the Luxembourg Open,
yes,
although Katie and Coco lost in the first round of their singles matches, they actually won the doubles tournament.
There you go.
And I mean, they struggled a little bit in their first round match, but they then took out the number 4 seed. Yep. 6-4, 6-4.
Once again, Blinkova.
Right. They took out the number 1 seed, 6-2, 6-4. And they took out the number 2 seeds in the finals, 6-2, 6-2.
Whole biscuits.
That whole conversation we had about them being in contention of playing in the Olympics as a doubles team, you got to take that seriously.
You have to absolutely take it seriously because they're getting results. They are winning. I mean, literally, they might go into 2020 with actually a pretty strong ranking.
Right.
In the doubles. So
I think so.
That's impressive. So, Katie and Coco, congratulations, ladies. Good job.
Yes.
Yes.
So, as for the men last week, we had some very important wins.
I would say so. Yeah.
And
pretty good.
So, the first one in the Kremlin Cup, we had Rublev actually win, beating Menarino.
Exactly. And you know what? Like I told you, I enjoy Rublev. I like his game. I like that he's, just this unassuming, skinny kid for the most part.
Right.
But he's getting it done, man. And like I said, he showed out as well. He was looking across the net and was like, hey, Adrian, you look hungry too. And I'm going to go ahead and feed you this bagel up in this final and take me a title. And there you have it.
Right, yeah. He took him out 6-4, 6-love in the finals, and that was a really good win.
Yeah. So kudos, Andre. Good job. Clean up that mop.
Right.
We're going to get you some hairstyling tips. But as far as your game goes, pretty damn tight.
Pretty good.
Yes, sir.
And then we had a first-time winner on the tour.
Right.
Our boy up from Canada, Denis Shapovalov.
How about that? I mean, man, and what's funny, Bryce, when they mentioned it, I was like, he ain't won a tournament yet?
I know.
Because he had showed out so much last year that I literally thought he had won a tournament.
Right.
So the fact that he hadn't was actually, that was kind of shocking. But kudos for him getting through that draw and just working it out,
Right.
Just straight sets, just boom, 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 go on, get it done.
And speaking of working it out, I'm sorry, Isaac, I cannot stop thinking about that Taco Bell on the dope kid when we get done taping this episode. Oh, it's calling my name.
You are insane, dude. I tell you what, you are cray to the cray.
but anyway.
Back to the tennis, though. Congratulations, Dennis.
Wonderful work on your first win.
Get your title on. Right on. Felix, you better use that as an example, man. Get your title. You've been in like 4 or 5 finals. You need to get that done. Anyway.
Right. Well, who didn't win their first title this weekend, but it was a great win on the start of a wonderful comeback, we're hoping. At the European Open, we had an old school final. We had Andy Murray against Stan Wawrinka. How good was that?
Man, Bryce, that was incredible because, they've always sort of gone back and forth with the whole Big Four, Big Five.
Right.
Stan and Andy have always sort of been those cornerstones of the Big Four, if you will. Right. And, I mean, the fact that they met up in a final at this point in their careers where both of them have been coming back from injury. Because don't forget, Stan was out for that period of time with his injury.
Absolutely.
And not really knowing if he was going to come back. So the fact that they both came back, made a final. Again, 11-8 head-to-head, which is very close. So they've had competitive matches in the past. I mean, it was just incredible for me, the fact that they got in the final. And you know what? Andy Murray pulled it out. I didn't think he was, if I'm being very honest with you, because Stan looked good that first set. He took that first set 6-3, and I was like, all right, Stan looked like he going to run with it. And what's kind of funny is you realize that Stan's coach is Andy's former coach, and Danny
Oh
Valverde.
yeah, that's right.
And Danny Valverde has coached a couple people. He coached Dimitrov, and I forget who else he coached. But literally, he's done coached people, and he still has not gotten a victory over Andy Murray with any of those people. And Andy Murray was like, "No, you're not gonna get a victory today." And he took that title, man. I mean,
Well, I tell you what, I was watching that match.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because Wawrinka and Murray, for me, are two players I really like.
Yeah.
I never vote for them against, like, my favorites. I like not against the Federer and not against Tsonga or Pui or one of them. But, you know, I typically vote for them over, like, Djokovic, over Nadal, over that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they're very similar in my mind. Mm-hmm. But I definitely wanted Murray to win this. I thought it was more important for this to be a good shot in his arm. Wawrinka's had some really good wins now that he's been back already, and I think he's going to be fine.
Oh, yeah.
But I was very happy to see Andy win, and he was clearly very emotional there at the end.
Right? Who knew Andy Murray was all like Federer? All them tears.
I know. But no, that was excellent, and it was a very good match to watch too.
It was. I mean, competitive from start to finish, and that's what you would expect from Grand Slam champions and future Hall of Famers. That's exactly what you would expect. So, you know, Stan, kudos for making another final and on your recovery. But Andy Murray, congratulations, my friend. That is incredible to go from not knowing you're going to play again ever to being able to come back and now win a singles title. Incredible. Good job, my man. Good job.
Now, speaking of the men's tour for this week, our first match we have the first tournament we have is the Erste Bank Open in Vienna, Austria. So, you know when we in Austria, you know who's going to be there.
Yes, you know. Come on now. Dominique team is like, look, I'm at home. I'm about to show out.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Well, we have, as our seeded players for the week, Team is the top seed, Hatchinoff is second seed, Berrettini third, Monfils fourth, Schwartzman fifth, FAA sixth, Pela seventh, and Court eighth.
Yes.
Now, I was very disappointed to see that a wild card in this tournament, my boy, Joe Willie Tsonga, had to face Team in the first round, and that's just a tough matchup, and Willie went out 6-4, 7-6, but it looked like it was a good match.
Absolutely. So, yeah, anytime Tsonga's playing, he's not going to be an easy out. So, sorry that he got with Team, but, you know, I think he'll bounce back, though. Right. He'll bounce back. Especially he's won Paris before. So next week he'll get in there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he'll get a wild card because it's in France.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So hopefully he'll have a kind enough draw where he can kind of show out and really do some things, because I want Willie to get, you know, his ranking tight so that when he gets, you know, 2020 Australian, he won't have to hopefully face some of these big names in the early rounds. So,
I agree.
Yeah.
Now, as we've been stating, you know, there's this push for the year-end championship. So we have a couple of people here in the tournament that, you know, these are some critical points as they're going into the last week of the tournament for next week.
That's right.
Who do you think is going to make the semifinals for the Erste Bank Open?
Yeah, so you know, I definitely feel like Dominique is going to be very comfortable at home, because remember, he went off and played some clay tournament in Austria before he joined the hard court, so he went from grass to clay to hard, which was really ridiculous, but he won that tournament in his home country.
Did, yeah.
So that tells me he is extremely comfortable, and I feel like Dominique team will make the semis. I actually have a little bit of a long shot, and I know that I am kind of, you know, once again going with my sentimental favorite versus the logical favorite, but I actually have Grigor Dimitrov making the semifinal. I think that he's going to play Berrettini in the next round, and I think a little bit of that pressure is going to come up, and I just think that he's going to end up getting past Berrettini, and you know, my hope is that FAA makes it through, but he's playing Rublev in that first round, and that is not an easy first. Talk about a popcorn match, folks. Go watch that match. That to me is going to be a good match of two young guys, young guns. But regardless of that, I think Dimitrov will win against them. Oh yeah, and Young Chung is up in there. I didn't even realize that. And see, I like his game too. And he's another one of the youngsters. He ain't but what, 21, 22?
Yeah.
So he's on the comeback trail. But anyway, sorry, Bryce, to talk so much. But yeah, I have Team versus Dimitrov in that top semifinal. And I actually have Gael Monfils against Karen Khachanov in the bottom.
Okay.
What do you have? What you got?
Well, I agree with you with Team. I think home in Austria, he's going to absolutely make the semifinals.
Yeah.
I have him meeting Berrettini because I think Berrettini is going to put the smackdown on Dimitrov. I think he's going to be like, thank goodness you were in my section of the draw.
Okay, there you go.
I think Dimitrov may get fed in that match. So, anyway, I think Team and Berrettini in the semifinals.
Okay.
And then in the bottom, I'm with you. I think Monfils is going to be there. Mm-hmm. But I actually have Schwartzman.
Okay. Oh,
him meeting Schwartzman.
I kind of miss Schwartzman there, but yeah, okay.
Because I think for what you were saying about Berrettini, I think Khachanov.
Oh, okay. Will have a little bit too much
And
pressure.
I think that's a tough matchup for Khachanov.
I agree. Because Diego's no joke. I mean, he gets a lot of balls back. He's fast as hell. And yeah, so that's always a tough one. Yeah.
So in the finals, I actually have Berrettini upsetting Team.
Wow.
Yes.
All right.
Because I think Berrettini is going to show up for the occasion. I really do.
Okay.
And I actually have Monfils taking out Schwartzman.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're close. I actually have, so I do have Team making it to the final. I have Gael. I have a Gael upsetting Khachanov to make it to the finals. So I have Team versus Gael.
And then I have in the finals, I have Monfils taking out Berrettini.
Wow.
I think he wants to put some extra stars in that Jim's life.
All right. Okay. There you go. Put more stars in them Jim's life. I like that. That was good. Well, Gael, I'm sorry, bro. I actually have Team going and taking this title because again, it's in Austria. I just think he's gonna show out in front of his phone. But yeah, I still feel like it will make for a very interesting setup then for Paris because if Gael can gain enough points, he can bring himself back into that discussion. Because mind you, he's like what 13, 14 on the list.
Right. He is a very outside shot.
Yeah, so makes it interesting.
Right. So then, in Basel.
Yes.
Or Basel.
Basel.
Okay. I'm thinking about the spice. See, I'm still thinking about that Taco Bell. I'm trying to get me some basil on my tacos.
You know, you need to eat before we make these damn recordings. Because you are what? Hungry,
right. So in Basel, Switzerland, or better known as the Roger Federer Open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Roger's going to win this tournament for the umpteenth time.
This will be double digits for him because he's won it 9 times.
Yep.
And he's been a finalist 5 times. So he's got 14 on the trot.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. That's like your backyard tournament. So
right.
It's gonna take a mighty effort to derail Roger from winning this title.
Yep. And who he has in the tournament that he's gonna walk over is Alexander Zverev. He needs to pay him back, but he's not gonna get a chance to because he went out to Taylor Fritz.
I know. What's up with that?
Yeah.
But good on Taylor though. I like when Taylor's getting him some wins because Taylor. I tell you what, he's somebody to be on the lookout for in 2020. I think he is bringing some strong game.
All right.
Yeah, I really do.
Well, Zverev was the second seed. Emphasis on was.
Bye.
And then third seed we have Tsitsipas. Mm-hmm. Fourth is RBA.
Yes.
Fifth is Fognini.
Yep.
Sixth is Goffin. Mm-hmm. Seventh is Wawrinka. Mm-hmm. And 8th is Paire.
Who said goodbye?
Yeah, who is? He's like, bye-bye.
He's a holler.
I'm out.
Right? He's like, bitch, get out.
So, who do you see? Who are the other 3 people in the finals
besides Roger, right? Okay, I see Roger playing Tsitsipas.
Right.
And let's talk about this for a little minute because I don't know if we referenced this on the last episode or not, but Tsitsipas got a little into himself talking about the big 4, big 3 don't want to see him because he's bringing some fire. Listen. You know Roger Federer heard that quote, right, CC Paz? He gonna get up on you and he gonna snatch you around a little bit. He gonna be like, I got my Vaseline, I'm about to swing out on you. So yes, I have Roger playing CC Paz in the semis, and I have him taking him out. And then the bottom half, I actually have Goffin versus Alex de Minaur.
That's interesting.
I think RBA will end up. I think it's going to be Goffin against RBA, and I think Goffin's going to take RBA out.
Really?
Yep. I'm beginning to feel like RBA is not going to hold that slot.
Okay.
Not hold it, but he's not going to be in contention for that 7 or 8.
Right. Well, I have Roger and CC Pass like you up top.
Got it.
I do have RBA facing de Minaur.
Oh, well, there we go. So we have a slight difference there.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then I have de Minaur playing Roger in the finals.
Okay. I've got Roger and Goffin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I have Roger.
And, because it's the Roger Federer Open. So
right.
Why would you pick somebody else? I mean, come on, people.
Right. Yeah, he's going to take this title. And I just need him to get more titles than Jimmy Connors. He's at,
where is he at? 102?
Is he at 102 now? He definitely got 101.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he got 102 or not, but Connors has 109.
Yeah.
And I need for somebody to take that title from him.
Oh no, it's very doable because I mean if he can win this one, that puts him at either 102 or 103, and then like I said, going into next year, let's wait a minute, back it up. I still feel like Roger has a very good shot of winning the year-end championships. If he goes in there and clowns, he could get because like we talked about in the previous episode, Roger is incredible on indoor hard. Yeah. So I really feel like he'll be able to do some damage. So. Hopefully he gets a little confidence, and he can get up in either Paris and both, actually, the year-ending championship tournament, and show out a little bit.
Do you know if Nadal is playing Paris?
I do not. I would expect that he would, because, he was taking a little time off. He got married and all that good stuff. So
congratulations, Rafa.
Yeah, congrats, Rafa. Good job, my man. Yeah, put a ring on it. Yeah, if you like it, put a ring.
Guess he liked it.
Right?
Yeah.
So kudos on that. But yeah, but I think you might be playing. I think he'll play Paris. Because quietly, listen, Novak is playing. And so I feel like he's going to end up showing out in Paris. And if Nadal does it, and we already know Nadal is indoor hard is not his favorite surface. He ain't never won the year-ending championship tournament. In fact, he done got dusted off a few times.
Right.
So I feel like he kind of should play to really try and hold on to that number one. But I don't know. We'll see. All right. He might be like, shit, I got married. I ain't trying to play with y'all. I'll see y'all later. Holla.
So, that gets us together for the men for this week.
Yes.
And Isaac, you want to talk about the year-ending consolation tournament?
Yeah, pretty much. It's called the WTA Elite Trophy Zuha, which I don't even know if I said that right. But yeah, basically what they do, folks, is they have a special tournament for the players that have ended the year in the spots 9 through 16, I believe it is. So is it 9, 16, or?
They go to 20.
Oh, they go to 20.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. 8 spots. Or, wait a minute. No, it's 12 spots. Duh.
Yeah.
So they take that group, and basically they separate them out into 4 different groups. And then each group, they play one another in those groups. And the top 4 from the top player from each of those groups then goes to the semifinals. And basically, it's just like a normal tournament at that point. They play the semis. Whoever comes out of the semis will make the final. They play the final, and boom, they get the trophy. They get their coins.
Right.
So that's, in a nutshell, that's how that works, people.
And if you didn't catch that, go to WTA.com.
There you go.
You get
read up on it.
WTAtour.com. I'm sorry.
That's right.
And you can get yourself together.
Read up on it, and you can get all the detail you want. But in those 3 groups, or 4 groups, are pretty interesting. So... do they have names for the different groups? Because you know how they name all the different ones.
As like flowers.
Oh, okay. So what are the names?
Orchid and azalea.
Oh, azalea, camellia, orchid, and rose. Okay, anyway. Azalea, you got Kiki Bertens, Donna Beckage, and Yastrzemska. That's a pretty interesting group. And then Camellia, you've got Sonia Kennan, Ali Risk, 2 Americans in the same group. So that's kind of disappointing, but that well. And then Mukova? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mukova. Orchid Group is Madison Keys, Mark Tick, and Zhang Sai, who I just adore. I love Zhang Sai. And then the Rose Group, of course, is Sabalenka, Elise Mertens, and Sakari, which that to me is the toughest of all four of the groups. That's a major group. But yeah, basically the top player out of each of those groups will make the semis. So Bryce, who exactly do you have coming out of each of those groups making it to the semifinals?
Well, I have my 4 semifinalists as Kiki Burdens, Zhang Sai, Sabalenka, and Sonia Kennan.
I'm trying to tell you, Bryce states this every week. We do not fill out our draws together. I'm trying to tell you, we do it separately. We ain't looking at each other, ain't looking over each other's shoulders, ain't cheating. Bryce, I have the exact same 4.
Oh, wow.
Exact same 4.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if we have the exact same advancing to the finals.
Okay. All right.
So,
who you got?
I have Zhang Sai against Sonia Kennan.
Oh, well, wait a minute. I thought they would play one another, though. Because isn't it 1 and 4 versus 2 and 3?
Well,
yeah.
It might be. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, if that's the case, then if I switch those.
So how would that switch up your prediction, right?
Yeah. So then I would go Kennan against Burdens.
Oh, okay. So I have Kennan versus Sabalenka.
Yeah, I know you got that hankering for Sabalenka.
I do. I like her. I do. And I have her actually taking the championship because she's fiery. And she got, what's your name behind her as a coach? The Russian. What's his name?
Oh.
It begins with a D.
Dmitry Tursunov?
Dmitry Tursunov. Yeah. He's her coach. So
I think I've become a Kennan believer.
I can understand that completely.
Yeah, I think she's going to just gut it out. As she seems to do all the time. And I don't think from an ability level there's any... if she was playing, if she had to go through Kvitova and go through Serena, but all of these ladies, Sophia Kennan was like, give me my trophy.
I think if she plays Sonya, she plays Sabalenka. Sabalenka might have something for her, though.
All right.
But, that's what makes good tennis, right?
And it does. It does. So let's go ahead and jump into our hot topic for the week.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
And listeners, you heard us speak earlier about Andy Murray winning his first tournament back after really we were thinking his career was over.
Yes.
And he's gone about it in a very smart way. He came back, he started off playing doubles. Now he was playing smaller tournaments, and he resisted the temptation to try to enter the U.S. Open main draw, even though he knew they would give him a wild card.
Right.
I think he's been very smart about it. And what we want to ask, and we're going to put this question out on social media, so go out and give us your feedback in terms of what you think.
That's right.
But do you think Andy Murray will have the ability next year to finish? We keep talking about the year-end championships, right?
Right.
Do we think he has the ability to finish within the top 8 in 2020 and to actually qualify for the year-end championships? Isaac, what do you think?
Brother, I'm trying to tell you that's a loaded question. And the reason I say that is because we've got so many new guys jumping on the scene. So you've got Tsitsipas in the mix. You've got, Medvedev in the mix. You've got, all these young guns that are finding their form and they're squeezing their way in. Plus you got the folks that are holding their own spots, like your top 3 or your big 3 with Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic. Team is doing the damn thing. So he's up in the mix, winning tournaments on all surfaces. So he's proving to be an all-court player. It is a big ask. But at the same time, I 100% believe that Andy Murray is going to carve his way back into the top 8 and will finish in the top 8 for next year. I really do. Because if he can be pain-free, the thing about Andy Murray, Andy, in my eyes, is such a smart tennis player. He is smart. And I mean, to me, even more so than the big 3, I think he just knows how to play and put people in difficult situations versus sticking to this is my A game. I'm gonna force it and make it work, which is how a lot of the other big three. I think Djokovic can adjust his style, but Federer and Nadal don't typically adjust their style. They like, no, bitch, you will adjust to me, and that works because they're great. They're great, and they're the best of the best, you know, greatest of all time. But I think with Andy, the fact that he does have that strong knowledge, he's going to be able to work a lot of these new guys, and they're not going to be able to handle it. And I think that it was going to take them a while to figure out how to play Andy and how to beat Andy. So I do believe 100% that he will make the top 8 in 2020. What are you thinking? How are you thinking about Andy Murray?
Well, this was an easy question for me because I absolutely say yes because I know exactly where I look for him to fall, and that would be either 7 or 8.
Right.
I didn't even go through the whole mental exercise of how he'll do against Djokovic and Roger. And no, he's not going to be in the top 6.
No.
Right.
No.
But when I look at currently who's in the top 7 or 8, when you're talking about Zverev and your RBAs and your Berrettini, he can definitely pass him up.
Absolutely.
I'm not even worried about that. So the key for this question for me was top 8. If this question had even been top 5, I'd been like, I don't think so. But top 8, I think he just sneaks in.
Well, and quietly though, I still feel like there's a couple of them that he's gonna be able to scratch up on because I don't think that Tsitsipas as well as Dominic Thiem. I think if Murray has a great off season, which I expect him to, because I expect him to go and work out and just get himself really strong and really physically back to where he was. I would say I honestly would give him the edge. If you're talking about old school Andy in health versus Tsitsipas or Thiem, I'd give him the edge 2 times out of 3.
Well, and the one thing that I would say that makes me kind of challenge that a little bit is because of the injury he's had. I don't know if he's going to be the Andy Murray past that played a lot.
Right.
I think he's going to have to be like we've seen with Roger and Rafa and everybody else up there now. He's going to have to be a little more strategic about what tournaments he plays.
Absolutely.
So when you talk about people like Tsitsipas and Thiem, they're in the parts of their career where they're playing like almost every week. Right. So they may be able to get up on him based upon volume.
Valid point. Very
valid. Because if Andy doesn't do well in a couple of big events, you know, but we're talking about the specifics of the ranking system and how it works right now.
Right.
You know? I just think just because they will play more, they will have more opportunities to maybe just edge him out. You know? But in terms of playing wise, I totally agree with you. I thought the same thing even before you said it. You know, people used to say Andy's big strength was, you know, how good of a counterpuncher he was. But it's really, I think, on how smart he is.
It's how smart he is.
Absolutely. And it isn't just counterpunching. I think sometimes it just looks like counterpunching, but he actually has a strategy to what he's doing.
Right.
So, I definitely see him in the top 8 and welcome him back. I've missed Andy Murray.
Ooh, absolutely, man. Andy's my dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So, look, we did not want to end this episode without acknowledging that we hit one of our first milestones. This is our 20th episode.
20
that we have recorded. And I know it's a small milestone, but thinking back in May, we hadn't even recorded one.
Right.
Yeah, so...
Who knew?
And actually, wow. 20 episodes and it's still October, so we've kind of done a little
shit. We done put in some work.
We have. So you know, we want to continue to encourage listeners to, you know, if you're liking what you're hearing, you know, share it with your fellow tennis friends and your tennis buddies, and maybe they can get a little entertainment out of it as well.
That's right. We have fun here. We want you all having fun as well. And again, all about tennis, folks.
Absolutely.
All about tennis.
So with that, we're going to sign off for the week. Everyone have a safe one. This is your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Good night.